With a follow-up to a story we've been tracking 4 weeks ago today, we told you right here on Your Side Tonight that Charlotte leaders were considering whether the city needs stronger rules for high-speed e-bikes after complaints from neighborhoods across the city.
Well, tonight, new local injury data is adding even more urgency to that conversation. Charlotte Mecklenburg Police and Levine Children's Hospital say injuries involving e-bikes and e-scooters treated at Levine Children's tripled between 2024 and 2025. Hospital leaders also say nearly half of those injuries did involve children. Police say they're continuing to see young riders speeding through traffic, ignoring traffic signals, and riding without helmets or other protective gear. They also say one of the biggest misconceptions is what many people are actually riding.
They're referred to as e-bikes, but they're motorcycles. There's no pedals, there's no part of it that's a bicycle. 2 weekends ago, we got a 12-year-old at 1 a.m. on one of these. We called his parents and they're like, well, he's just on his e-bike. So there's just a lot of confusion among everybody. Everybody uses that term e-bike, but they're really just motorcycles flying up and down the streets.
Yeah, CMPD says parents should understand exactly what type of electric vehicle they're buying before handing over the keys. Officers say many of today's high-speed electric bikes can travel 20 to 30 miles an hour or more and should be treated with the same care and responsibility as any other vehicle on the road.
As for what is next, well, Charlotte leaders are continuing to explore whether city rules need to change. At Monday's City Council's Safety Committee meeting, members reviewed what Charlotte can legally regulate under state law and looked at ordinances already adopted in Cornelius and Davidson. Those towns require helmets for minors, restrict where higher speed e-bikes can be ridden, and classify the fastest models as mopeds or motorcycles, bringing additional licensing and insurance requirements. Charlotte leaders have not proposed an ordinance just yet.
Yeah, but Monday's discussion marks the beginning of what could become new rules aimed at improving safety for both riders and the public. Lots of conversations, certainly in the community, about that issue. Again, just kids, boy, be safe out there.
And kids and even older adults, I have to say. Yes, my father has an e-bike. It's heavy.
Yep.
It fell over on him and he broke his leg in two places.
Yeah, you
so you got to be careful.
No question about it. Hey, that does it for us tonight. But before we go, happy birthday, young lady.
Thank you.
It's Kim's birthday. We haven't had a chance all day to salute you. So happy birthday. I hope you have a terrific day.
I will. Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow night at 7.